Today, my topic is hybrid case study. I'm trying to use SimCity to understand the conflict between urban development and historic preservation. In the previous experiment, I started with a comparison between two different approaches of development and preservation. Firstly, I drew the historic area. You can see the plan and the section. Then, there are two approaches. First is the preservation-oriented, which is developing the urban area, excluding the preserved area. The red area is the historic area, and the blue one is the developable area. The second is the development-oriented, which is developing the urban area within the preserved area. After the comparison, I found the first approaches, which is a preservation-oriented way, give the city more identifiability. From this simulation, I found that ensuring land value of the historic preservation region is constant with building style. In other words, let right people live in right buildings. Since I prefer preservation-oriented model, this became my starting point of my new experiment. I wish to testify if there is a best way for historic preservation without any government intervention except for zoning. Based on the takeaway from my previous simulation, I believe that the social status of the residents who live in the historic area matters. Thus, I translate the social status to land value directly, since in SimCity, land value determines the social status of the resident. I separated my city in 5 pieces, A, B, C, D, shows the same prototype. The prototype has 3 rings. The historic area is in the inner ring with a low-density street to restrict the density of the building inside. The outer rings have a high-density street, which is developable area. Region A has the low land value, and Region B has a medium land value. Region C has a high land value, and Region D is mixed. My hypothesis is that rich people are less willing to increase density than low-income people are. If my hypothesis is positive, when low-income people begin to ask for increased density, the rich should still be satisfied with the current density. As you can see, most of the area are for residential use. To control the land value precisely, I use the parks. In SimCity, different kind of parks can increase the land value to exact level. Here you can find the land value has been controlled to level we want. You can see the fabric is changing with the land value. This is similar with the real situation of historic area. Now, I started to compare the change of people's willingness to increase the density. You can find that the changing rate of low-income people are the fastest. At the end, when the rich are still in yellow color, low-income have already in green, which stands for likely to expand. As shown in the slide, low-income are more likely to increase the density compared to low-income. Given the same time, rich and mid-income are less willing to increase the density. However, 4 hours later, the rich started to ask for expanding. So, in conclusion, we cannot accept the hypothesis that rich people are less willing to increase the density. However, It does take longer for rich people to start becoming willing to increase the density than low-income people do.